G'day YouTubers, Dr. Stu here, welcome to the Studiverse. Catchy little title. I video blog on YouTube here and there, but I've come to realize that I predominantly video blog about myself, and given that I am no one of any particular consequence, I imagine that this could grow a little stale and a little old for those of you who don't know me. So, I really should do what I do best, and that's irritate the fuck out of my friends. And I do this because I get rather angry and impassioned about things which are close to my heart. I usually find something and then latch on like a fucking bulldog and bore them or frustrate them or drive them nuts until they cave in and agree to do something about whatever it is that's pissing me off. And one thing that is kind of close to my heart at the moment is the issue of censorship. In particular, the censorship that Minister Conroy, who is the Minister for Broadband and Digital Commerce here in this great big bronze land that we call Australia, is proposing. Under the previous federal government, a plan was introduced to give Australian households free software to protect their family or their children from the evils of the internet, and that was available either in the post or downloaded from the relevant website for free. I believe, as the story goes, a 16-year-old kid downloaded it and cracked it inside 15 minutes, rendering hundreds of millions of dollars worth of development entirely useless. So the new government that's been voted in, a government that I am now sad to say I voted in, has turned around and said, okay, well, we're going to go one step further and we're going to clean up the internet, and we're going to do this by creating a secret blacklist of websites that you will not be able to access. The reason we're doing this is to protect the children of Australia from inadvertently accessing child pornography, or any kind of pornography, or any kind of what is now being deemed by the government to be inappropriate content. The definition of which will not be elaborated on by Minister Conroy. So what we now have is the government compiling a secret blacklist of 10,000 sites, which is going to be put in place, great big firewall that we can't access. But on top of that, because they can't say what's on the list, otherwise, out of fear that we will go and access it, they also reserve the right to amend and update the secret blacklist whenever they want to filter out illegal and undesirable content. So when does this content go from being illegal to inappropriate? Does this happen when pro-anorexia sites are banned, or sites with information or even advocating other things which are illegal in this country, like euthanasia, or sites which encourage and advocate things like political dissent? Because at this point in time, it is not and should not be illegal to research how to make an explosive device. I understand completely that it's illegal to take said explosive device, put it in an underground car park and blow up a building, and that should be. But banning knowledge out of fear that someone's going to do something horrible with it, once you start doing that, you're on a really fucking slippery slope. And I believe officially, outside of China, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and North Korea, Australia will be the most heavily censored country when it comes to accessing material on the internet. Now, a lot of people, industry experts and the ISPs that have to be the ones to implement this, turn around and say, well, this simply isn't going to work. This won't work because, number one, all this stuff is underground, is generally shared on peer-to-peer networks and through, excuse me, chat networks, Usenets, IRC, this kind of stuff. So, in response to that, Mr. Conroy has said that all stuff coming into the country will be checked. This is going to include all the peer-to-peer, all the chat, all the IRC, all of this stuff. So basically what it now means is that not only is there going to be a secret blacklist of sites that we, as internet consumers in this country, will no longer be able to access, but all of our traffic coming into the country is going to be sniffed to make sure that the content is clean. Now, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I pay my taxes. I jaywalk occasionally, but so sue me. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's okay for the Australian federal government to sniff, to check out what I'm doing. Now, I understand there's not going to be some little bureaucrat sitting around somewhere checking this, but it does mean that the Australian government is aware of what I'm looking at and will be keeping logs for how long, I don't know, of what I'm looking at. People who I chat to, things I may want to research, all will be sniffed at the gateway. And I don't want that to happen. And I think I, more than anything, want people to be aware of what's happening. And I've spoken to friends, thoughtful, intelligent, well-informed friends that are unaware of all of this, and certainly unaware of all of the more intricate details of what's going on. And so the reason I guess I'm posting this tonight is because if these friends of mine who I consider to be well-informed, intelligent people either don't know about this plan or are a um, little unaware of all the details of it, then maybe the more people I talk to, the more people I make aware of it, the more that we as a people can do. Um, I do not want to see the internet censored. And it's been proved time and time again that it can't be. Now, all the ISPs that have to implement this say it can't be done. Industry leaders say it can't be done. We as a people say it can't be done and it shouldn't be done, and yet Minister Conroy is bulldozing through regardless, and that makes me absolutely sick. So for those of you who feel as though you're going to be affected by this, and you will be if you're in Australia, write in. Don't email him. Write something, print it out, stick it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, post it. It's far more difficult to disregard a written letter than it is an email. In fact, Conroy set up a blog in which he just got slammed, post after post after post after post of people commenting on his blog saying, we don't want this, we don't need this, get rid of it. And now the great blog experiment is closed and he's no longer taking any further comments. Which I think just goes to prove that the man simply is not listening. I feel a little bit better. As you can probably tell, I didn't prepare for this little video blog at all. Next time I'll be a little bit more prepared. There are a few other things which are floating around in this tiny little brain of mine, which I really would like to get off my chest and share with you, but perhaps that's for another night. In the meantime, please post your comments. I'd love to hear what everyone thinks on the subject of internet censorship. There's a lot more stuff to talk about too on that subject, things which are allegedly happening in the United States at the moment, which also terrify the shit out of me. But I'm almost 8 minutes in to this video blog, so I'm going to bail out. Have a great night, everyone, and I'll catch you real soon.